RuneScape. It's been a long time since the last time I touched this game. 2008 to be exact. That's nearly 20 years. Oh my god, that's almost 20 years. Heck, back then it was a browser-based game. Now the game has its own launcher. God, I'm getting old. So, back in 2008, RuneScape looked a lot like how old school RuneScape looks now. It's pretty much the exact same look I remember. Not like where RuneScape 3 ended up going. Haven't really touched that version of the game, but I hear a lot of people have been complaining about it or something. That said, this is about OSRS, or Old School RuneScape. Because I've been away from this game for so long, I have some very bare bones memories of when I played it back in the day. Stuff like that demon in Varrock, grabbing some blue looking sword for someone, and taking on the dragon. This was all on a free account. I never actually got that membership back then, so I've never actually been beyond those mythical members only gates. While I did enjoy the heck out of RuneScape back then, I obviously drifted away from it since then. It was the very first MMO I ever played, so this kind of feels like going back to my first hometown of sorts. Long since moved on, but back to see what's changed. I've also heard that OSRS also ended up going down a very different path to what it did before. Rather than following the updates that led it into becoming RuneScape 3, it has content that RuneScape 3 has never had before, and apparently it's still being added onto to this day. I'm very intrigued by that idea. New stuff, but done in a way that fits the OSRS model? Sign me up. Now, I have a plan for how I hop back into this world. I want to do as much of the free content I can do, right up to slaying the dragon. After that, I'll finally open up those gates and see what lies beyond. And since I don't know anything beyond the gates themselves, I won't know what's new and what's original. I'm excited. So, with all of that said, hi there, my name is Mega Mad Vlad, and this is the start of my journey and experience through RuneScape, the game that never ends. So strap in, we're about to take a look at one of the most prolific MMOs out there. This is RuneScape. Starting up RuneScape for the first time introduces us to the fabled Tutorial Island. Now that we're here, we can create our character on a really small UI. Holy hell, everything is so tiny. I'm seriously forced to lean into my monitor just to see what I'm doing here. Well, at the very least, first up is the character creator. I start by giving my character a name, and I went with my tried and true Vladithar. As for creating your character, it's just as bare bones as I remember it. Choose your hair, beard, torso, arms, hands, legs, and feet. Then you can choose what color you want everything to be. It's serviceable, and considering what you get out of this really minimalistic art style, you can still differentiate between yourself and others. For the most part. Let's give me bigger arms than I have in real life. Oh yeah! And since I'm on a free world, we'll end up seeing a lot of bots here, and a vast majority of them look like John RuneScape, that classic bald man you've seen plenty of times over the years. Always chopping down trees for some reason. So, after creating my character, I'm then asked how familiar I am with old school RuneScape. Considering I haven't touched this game since 2008, I'm going to click New Player and see what the experience is like. But first, let me mess around with the settings and see if I can make the UI bigger. Oh my god, I found it! Thank god, everything is readable now! Alright, let's continue. While it has been a very long time since I was last here, I do have some small memories of this game. Tutorial Island being one such memory. Like, this entire island is almost exactly as I remember it. You talk to people, yellow arrows point us where to go, each person will teach us something different, and then they'll tell us to go somewhere else. It's a basic tutorial that's actually well crafted. And I hope you like clicking, because RuneScape will have you clicking far more than you would in Cookie Clicker itself. You have to click to do anything in RuneScape, from movement to interacting with objects and characters, and even down to utilizing your inventory. This is a clicking simulator here. Continuing on, the stuff the tutorial goes over is the basic fundamentals. You learn how to chop down trees, start a fire, fish for shrimp, apparently? Cooking, fighting, the works. They even go over the basic UI as well. This thing right over here made out of rocks. Each of the rocks fills in with a different part of the UI as you go through Tutorial Island. It's done in a way to teach new players how to use everything in a really quick way, all without overwhelming them. And one of the things I remember the most was where we get introduced to combat. Go in a cave, talk to the combat instructor, who still looks badass as always, and all this right next to a literal cage of giant rats. Eventually he equips us with a sword and a shield, and then we're introduced to combat. Remember when I said this game was all about clicking? It's the same for combat too. Find the enemy you want to fight, click on them, and watch your character attempt to find their way over to them and fight. But we finally take out a giant rat, and Vladithar here is very excited for having done the classic RPG mechanic of taking out a giant rodent. I would not be a fan of seeing one of these pop up in my basement. Eventually, I make it through the tutorial, ending it with using magic to fight chickens in a cage, and then teleporting out. Adios, John RuneScape 1 and 2. And now we're in the game proper, starting in the town of Lumbridge. Now, my goal here is to eventually slay the dragon, but since I just popped up in Lumbridge for the first time, I've got a long ways to go. I remember when I last played this game, I had rune weapons and armor, and looking at the stats screen, I need to raise my attack and defense to at least 40 each. Since I'm at 1, I've got a long ways to go. Might as well start by grabbing up a few quests and completing them. And I'm not gonna lie, but everywhere I walk, I'm just being attacked by the nostalgia from the music. God, all of these tunes. I remember them so vividly. So anyway, I need to quest in this highly expansive fantasy MMORPG. What kind of quest shall I go on? Something that'll lead me to finding an underground cult? Maybe fight a giant demon that can destroy cities? Oh no, I'm doing something far tougher than those. I'm helping the Lumbridge cook bake a cake for the Duke's birthday. The horror. Oh yeah, time to grab some ingredients. One of them involves milking a cow. Riveting. So now I celebrate by sacrificing this goblin to my stats. Hand it in, and the quest is complete. I got a quest point. Not sure what those are for. But I also got 300 cooking experience. This is something I didn't remember. Actually getting experience from the quests we complete. I wonder just how far that'll take me. Well, with the dreaded cake monster finally slain, Vladithar was off to new horizons. This manor looks spooky. Oh, you're looking for your fiancé Ernest, you say. And the quest is called Ernest the Chicken. Right. Well, let's head on in. Yeah, chairs that follow me around, paintings that flip by themselves, and a zombie. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but this sort of looks like the manor might be haunted. Don't worry, the floating ghosts are normal. Oh, I found Ernest, the chicken, and Professor Odenstein, who just straight up tells me that Ernest is the chicken right over there. So in order to change him back, I need to gather 3 items for him. Well, that doesn't sound as dangerous as baking a cake, but I guess I'll do it. So I grab all 3 items, and one of them was behind a lever puzzle that I'm pretty sure I just completely lucked my way through. But I hand them off to Odenstein, and Ernest changes back. Quest complete. 4 quest points and 300 coins. No experience this time, but I did get some money. Eventually, I make my way over to the city of Varrock. Outside of the snow from the Christmas event, this is the very same Varrock that I remember. I even got attacked by a mugger. Yep, exactly as I remember it. Now, something I want to preface here is that slaying the dragon is the main goal here. But what if I told you about the absolute rabbit hole I found myself in called mining and smithing? I found a mining pit just outside of Varrock. It had some iron ore and plenty of tin and copper. Since I had a low mining level, I could only go for the tin and copper. So I got it into my head. What if I could make all of my weapons and armor all the way up to rune? That sounded like a fun goal to have. Oh, how wrong I was. The world of mining in RuneScape is cutthroat as hell. You can pick a spot to mine in, and other players will go for the same ores you were on before they even got there. And then you add in the numerous bots into the equation, and oh my god! Alright, I wasn't going to let that deter me. There are so many spots in this world to mine. There should be plenty to go around, and I was right about that. Even with all of the mining bots, I still had plenty of places where I could mine. Smelting and smithing, on the other hand, absolutely no fighting over anything in that regard. Though I did find it funny seeing the amount of times those random pop-up NPCs would show up to talk to one of the bots, and they would all just go ignored. Even funnier yet, they all had the same exact naming convention used. A number, followed by a random word, and then another number. You honestly couldn't make it more obvious they were bots. But then I would make the weapons and armor, starting with bronze, and then sell them in Varrock to make some more money. It worked out pretty well, made some decent money, and I was leveling at the same time. I don't know what it was that came over me, but there's just something weirdly fun about planning out where and how I was going to mine and make weapons and armor. I kind of found myself getting addicted to it. I worked my way up from copper and tin to eventually mine iron. Considering how that iron vein just outside Varrock was always taken, I wanted to find another spot. I ended up coming across one while I was searching for a new pickaxe. As it turns out, you can't make a pickaxe yourself, so I needed to purchase one. But in the mine where I found the dwarf selling the pickaxes, I spotted some iron ore ripe for the taking. And then I got to work. First up was iron. Mining that wasn't a problem. Smelting it, on the other hand, was a terrible experience. A 50% chance of failure? My mining level absolutely left my smithing level in the dust. But I was still addicted to this activity. I couldn't pull myself away. Questing was definitely the more important thing. But then I thought, what if I had mithril armor? Copper and tin, iron, then came coal. I was rising the ranks. Bronze, iron, steel. I was making money much faster than before. Mithril pickaxe, adamant pickaxe. I was unstoppable. I was mining so much, I'm sure people thought I was a bot. But I'm a man on a mission. A mission to rune armor needs what? 99 smithing? Okay. What level am I sitting at? Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be making my own rune armor after all. Maybe I should just get back to questing. Right after I get myself a full set of mithril armor. I trained myself up to 20 attack and defense, made more money from mining and smithing, and then I was set. A full set of mithril armor along with a mithril scimitar, all bought through the Grand Exchange. I'm absolutely certain I used the Grand Exchange back in 2008 to get my rune armor. No doubt I'll do it again too. I found a nice spot to mine some coal from, but it was surrounded by these level 14 scorpions. I tried to see how fighting them would go once, and I found myself face to face with Death himself. Yeah, the fight didn't go well. But now that I have this full set of mithril, it was time. Let's do this. Oh yeah, take that. Victory. Thy name is Vladathar. All right, now I can mine. And boy, do you need coal for everything. To make steel bars, you need 2 coal. To make mithril bars, 4 coal. Adamant is 6, and rune is 8. Holy hell, it's no wonder people are fighting over coal so much. But anyway, it's time we move on. I need to do some quests to prepare myself for the Demon of Varrock. And yeah, mining was absolutely a side tangent on the quest to slay the dragon. But I still had a ton of fun doing it. Seeing number go up made me happy. And Runescape is no doubt filled with stuff like that. But since this was on a free world, there's only so much of that I could see right now. These things may sound monotonous, but there's a nice, calm, addicting nature to it. I mean, I was mining for so long, I accidentally ended up recording that for about 18 hours. I'm only just realizing this while writing the script here. Whoops. Well, with that chapter out of the way, it was on to questing. I do like the variety of quests, as well as the writing in Runescape. Lots of comedic moments, like the Romeo and Juliet quest. Romeo is an absolute moron, but I'm sure you can guess how the quest goes. It's pretty much like Shakespeare himself wrote it. Talk to Romeo, he sends us to Juliet, who sends us to Father Lawrence, who suggests a potion to make Juliet seem dead. Makes sense. Make the potion, give it to Juliet, talk to Romeo, and then we head into the crypt where Romeo actually thinks she's dead. Then he falls in love with her cousin Philippa immediately. That's fine and all, but he was in on the plan! Yeah, an absolute moron. I had to go check and see if Juliet was actually dead or not, because the cutscene just kind of ended. Sure enough, she's alive and well. All's well that ends well? Alright, so while I was going through some of these quests, I found one that I couldn't actually complete myself. It was called the Shield of Erev, and I'm sure everyone here knows exactly what I'm talking about. But with me being scared to ask people to help me with it, I can't get the other half of the shield. I went into the Phoenix gang's side for that, so I was locked out of the other gang's hideout. I do think I remember that from the last time I played this game, but completely forgot about it since then. Besides that, how does this quest even work? Does the half of the shield keep spawning in that chest indefinitely? Or once I hand it in, does the person helping me effectively get locked out? I don't know, man. I just work here. But with a bunch of the quests not done yet, it was time I started on the quest to slay the Demon of Varrock. A fitting step before the dragon, I would think. And with me having mithril armor, I was sure I was ready. So I began the quest. I talked to Eris, who tells me she saw me wielding a special sword called Silverlight to fight a city-destroying demon called Delrith. She shows me a vision of the last person to seal Delrith away, a hero named Wally? They just don't name them like they used to. So she sends me on a quest to get this sword, because it's the only weapon capable of hurting Delrith. She points me to Sir Prison, a descendant of Wally, who has the sword Silverlight. He tells me I need 3 keys to unlock it, all held by different people. The first by him, though he dropped it in the drainage. Oh God, what is that? There are rats everywhere! Zombies! There's the key. Oh God, what did I put my hands in? First key acquired. And then I found the second person with a key, Captain Rovin. I find out he hates Sir Prison, so I told him that he dropped his key in the drain. Rovin, being the absolute Giga Chad he is, laughs and hands me his key right then and there. Second key acquired. Finally, I head to the Wizard's Tower, where Wizard Triborn tells me he doesn't understand anything, but he does know he has a key that needs 25 sets of bones. How bloodthirsty is this guy? Why don't we just send him after Delrith? Well, I got the 25 sets of bones, hand them in, he chants a poem, and then a dresser pops up and he hands me the key. Third key acquired. While I do remember doing this quest in the past, I sure did forget about the 3 keys part of it. It wasn't very difficult, but the challenge I expected was with Delrith and his cult of minions. But since I just now got Silverlight, and the fact I have Mithril armor, it's time to show that demon what for! The cult summons Delrith, and it's time I go and take him on. What do you mean I can't attack him because someone else is attacking me? Alright, let me just take out these 3 cult members. Oh, jeez, they're dealing a lot of damage to me right now. Oh God, I have to run. Well, that could have gone better. I'm just thankful they decided to unsummon Delrith until I come back later. I might need to get a bit stronger for this. Alright, let's do some other quests in the meantime. Oh, Sir Prison, what are you doing here for the Christmas event? Wait a minute, a bit surprising to see you here? Surprising. Oh my God, his name is pronounced Surprisin'. The more you know. And while this is an MMO, it's still great to see a bunch of people going around and doing different things, especially for an older game like Runescape. It really makes the world feel lived in. So anyway, I helped some goblins perform a fashion show. Don't you worry, purple goblin male, you will be avenged. And then I go to help out a ship captain whose crew has been cursed. So Captain Talk brings me to the location in question. But is this like right next to a members only location? Like I only have this little stretch of land I can walk on as a free player? Well, anyway, it's time to get to work. I find his men. 3 of them seem to think they caused the curse in a different way. The 4th one apparently warned them of possible curses. Also, these buildings look super weird, especially this one being literally just wooden legs. Let me turn the buildings on. Ah, slightly better. So I listened to all of their stories. Oh my God, a steak! Sorry, I had to get that. One person saw a mermaid through a telescope. Another thinks an artifact he stole from the ogres pissed them off and thinks they cursed him for the act. And finally, the 3rd guy fished up something. Oh my God! Yeah, that doll definitely looks cursed in the cutscene. But now I need to look into their claims. I get a sandwich to go along with my steaks. And then I get the bone artifact from the captain to give back to the ogres. Turns out it was only a toothpick. Okay. Next up, I look through the telescope to find the mermaid. My character Vladithar apparently sees a wet ogre, but I didn't see anything at all. Clearly, Vladithar just wants to end this quest quickly. And oh my God, a steak! Sorry. Now I dig up the cursed doll to find out it's just a wind-up toy. Yeah, these guys are full of crap. After some more digging, I eventually find out that Ethoi, the one who didn't think he cursed everyone, poisoned everyone's food to make them dependent on him so they wouldn't fire him. A weird plan, but everyone seems to believe he's cursed too. Oh, let me light this very conveniently placed firewood under his hut. Oh, would you look at that? He can move after all. He's been faking, and he can use magic. After telling this to Captain Talk, he wants me to end the guy. Alright, Ethoi, it's just you and me. Let's do this! Oh, he's a much bigger level than me. This is going so poorly. All of my food is gone. I need to run. Alright, I need to prepare a bit better for this fight. I need even more food. So I'm just going to stand here and get my free steaks. So while I was grabbing all of these tasty steaks here, I found out that armor is actually weak to magic. So my new plan is to go in with no armor and a lot of food. We'll see how this goes this time. Oh yeah, take that! Yes! Victory! And with no more food at that. But that's another quest completed. And with that, I think I've learned the way I can actually beat Delrith, the Varrock demon. He had 3 cult members with him. If I take off all of my armor and take them down, it'll be just me and the demon himself. But before I face him, I realized I never actually finished off all of the starter quests. I go to an escape room where the stakes are murder, and not gonna lie, I'm terrible at puzzles. But I'm glad to say I actually completed this without any help. I actually feel pretty accomplished after that. Then I went to get a new version of a White Knight's sword before he realized it was missing. It went so well. Absolutely nothing went wrong in any way. Oh my god! Why are they such high level? Ah! Pick it! Run away! Nope, no scary hitches whatsoever. And I got a cool looking sword out of it. It's too bad I have to hand it in though. But since I'm back in Varrock, it's time to take on Delrith with my new plan. Grab a bunch of food, take off my armor, and attack. These dark wizards won't know what hit them. Oh, I guess one of them didn't respawn. So it's only 2 of them. Both are down, I put my armor back on, and it's time, Delrith. Let's do this. Wait a minute, he only has 7 HP. I one-shot him. Oh god, what were the words again? Schmitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen? Yay, I did it! The demon is gone, and I get to keep this cool-looking sword. Now that Varrock is saved, and the demon is gone, I still have plenty of work to do before I can fight that dragon. And I know just how I'm going to prepare. What? I need coal for everything still. Don't look at me like that. And with all of that done, this is just the beginning of my journey and experience into Runescape. There's only so much that I can do as a free player, and playing for free was all I ever did the last time I played back in 2008. Literally everything will be new to me once I get past all of the free content. As far as Runescape goes, it plays exactly like I remember it. Clicking to do anything, mining, questing, the works. Everything is so easy to learn, and it's really like the game never changed. The gameplay is pretty fun, and has a rather tactical feel to it. Rather than completely controlling your character, you're essentially ordering them around, sort of like The Sims. Thankfully, your character doesn't talk back to you if their needs aren't met. Could you imagine your character refusing to mine for 87 straight hours? You know what? This world doesn't have any normal working hours, does it? But anyway, I had a lot of fun with what I've played so far. Hopping back in after not playing this for such a long time gives me both a feeling of familiarity, as well as being a new player of sorts. I definitely wanted to get the Tutorial Island refresher, and honestly, it's still so incredibly well done. Nothing too overwhelming for newer players, or ones returning after nearly 2 decades. The journey of Vladithar is far from over. Getting strong enough to wield mithril weapons and armor is a good push towards the dragon, but I've still got a long ways to go before reaching that goal. I've got plenty more things to do in Runescape, but for now, this is where we ended off. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. I have plenty of other videos already done in this style for other MMOs, like Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 2, and Elder Scrolls Online, and I will be continuing this for Runescape as well. With that said, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Adios.